Hi, my name is Mitra. I'm an authorized tour guide in Rome and Italy. I'm also a virtuoso travel advisor. Today, I want to take you to the Renaissance jewel of Tuscany. You know who I'm talking about. It's the beautiful city of Florence. Let's go. Florence was founded in the 1st century BC as the city of Florentia by the Romans, but there were Etruscan settlements here prior to that, up in the hills outside of what would become Florence. Julius Caesar's military garrison had a retirement spot right here in Florence, and not a bad place to retire if you ask me. Florence will, however, grow to become the famous version of Florence under the Medici family during the era of the Renaissance. Renaissance means rebirth of classical antiquity, an era where not only beauty and art and movement was celebrated, but ideas of balance, individuality and their own responsibility, finding humanity in the divine and finding divinity in the humane. A concept not entirely uncontroversial when it came to the Pope in Rome, who did his very best to slow down this progress, which is why when you are here in Florence, we often talk about art being placed in the 13 and the 1400s. Once you are in Rome, you tend to talk about Renaissance a little bit more in the 1500s. It took a while, but change takes time, as we can all agree. The Medici family come from a small town up in north of Italy, and they move into Florence, and they will start to grow very much so in the 1400s specifically. Under Lorenzo the Magnificent, who starts a sculpture garden in Florence, we're going to see some of the finest artists being fostered into the new era of great artistry and talent. One of the most famous names of the boys attending that sculpture garden, I think you know him really well, Michelangelo. All the art collection that grows also is reflected in the artistry of architecture in Florence. She is, in fact, the only true Renaissance town in Italy. The artistry of Renaissance is also very evident in the architecture of Florence. I mean, who doesn't know of the famous Duomo, the baptistry, the bell towers? All of this makes Florence to this day one of the most unique, best preserved Renaissance cities in all of Europe. It's a very cohesive, singular style of architecture. In the era of the 14 and 1500s, to show your wealth and to show your nobility, the bigger the better, and we use a lot of stone in Florence, and the style is called massiccia. It means a little bit heavy. So of course it goes to figure that we would balance it with dainty, elegant, ethereal art. You will see this art displayed in one of the most famous museums of Italy, the Uffizi Gallery. Uffizi, that means offices, that's how they started, but they were also started as a small museum already from the dawn of time. By the time the last Medici descendant will pass away with no heirs in the 1700s, the last heir will leave the entire art collection to the city of Florence with one singular condition, that the art would never leave the city. And it has not to this day. And the Uffizi Gallery, once you walk in there, is going to walk you through to the very first awakenings of Renaissance, where we want to question, where is the divinity in humanity? Where is the humane in the divine? And where is the balance of this divine Catholic universe in our world? Florence will then set the standard in the Enlightenment era of Europe. When it comes to Italy, Florence is going to also set the standard for language. The Florentine vernacular, especially after Dante Alighieri writes the Divine Comedy, is going to set the standard of what becomes Italian language. The Florentine currency is also going to set banking standards across Europe that still have reverberations to this very day. We still grow the same wine that we grew in the era of the Da Vinci's and the Michelangelos. Did you know that Florence has such a particular microclimate outside on her Tuscan hills that the same wine that can grow on the bottom of the hill cannot be grown on the top of the hill, and vice versa? Wine production is still prevalent. We have a big meat industry in Florence thanks to the grazing of the green, luscious hills all around Tuscany. And a byproduct of this industry is, of course, also leather. When you buy leather in Italy, almost all of it originally does come from Florence. It is the most famous place for leather, but also for jewelry. Thanks to the trading with the big merchant families, there is a big culture of making jewelry, and no other famous place in Florence like the Ponte Vecchio. Ponte Vecchio used to be used for butchers and for meat sellers. The smell, however, became so dominant that the noble ladies would complain quite a bit as they were out taking a turn. So the ruler of the Medici family of the time decided simply to move the butchers across the river away from the city center, and to make a more beautiful promenade, the bridge was filled with jewelry shops, and that is how you find it to this day still. If you want to learn more and experience all the beauty that Florence and Tuscany has to offer, do not hesitate to let me know. If you dream it, always remember, me as a travel advisor, I will deliver it.